This is the only type of energy I'm going to be accepting while dating moving forward. Last week, I had 2 dates planned. One was on Friday, the second one was on Sunday. The one on Friday, he made a reservation for a certain time, and I was like, okay, great. So he texted me about 30 minutes before our date, and he's like, actually, we are going to go here. It wasn't far from the original place, so it didn't derail plans at all. But he was like, meet me here at the same time. I was like, okay, great. So I get there and he's like, yeah, the first place didn't accept reservations. So I got there an hour early and it was like an hour and a half wait. And I just said, you know what? Thank God I made reservations for a plan B.
Boy, there's no real easy way to say this, but, look, you're a simp.
So now he made reservations at 2 places. The date wasn't derailed at all. It was great. I thought there was so much planning involved. It was so thoughtful. It was like so refreshing to be able to shut my brain off, be able to show up, have the date. Nothing was derailed in any way, shape, or form. So on Sunday, I have another date planned and he's texting me 4 hours before, like, what do you want to do? Where do you want to eat? What do you want? Like, asking me to basically plan the date. And I was like, you know what? I am coming off of a high from my first date. I will not be accepting anything less. And I just removed him because, like, no.
Wow. That's amazing.
Lady, you do realize that if a guy asks you what you want to do, he's trying to gauge what you like so he can plan a date that you both can enjoy, right? I mean, let's say that he's planning a date for you, but you've told him nothing about what you enjoy, so he takes a guess. He goes online and finds a really great hot fish restaurant. It's first-class service, it's great food, trendy atmosphere, but there's only one problem. You don't like hot fish, and you never bothered to tell him that. So naturally, it's going to be his fault for not asking you, even though if he did ask you, that would force you to think. And apparently thinking is such a horrible thing for modern women to do that the mere notion of having to do that is about on par with your average war crime. Meanwhile, the dude who planned everything is about 1 date away from getting a grammatically unsound text message from you about saying how you don't feel a spark, mainly because you got your fill of food, and you had no intention of taking his fill as you never found him attractive in the first place. So planning and not planning will pretty much end the same way for the poor dudes who are dumb enough to date you.
Yeah, that checks out. That sounds about right.
The easiest breakup for a man is breaking up with a good girl. Because he actually knows that she's going to be sitting at home crying for him. She's going to be sad. She's not going to be out there partying or trying to be with another man. And that's going to give him ease for a little bit. Until it actually hits him 3 to 6 months. And that's based on psychology. That's when he actually starts waking up and saying, okay, wait, I lost her. And a man loves in absence of a woman. That's when he actually has a maximum love for the person he was with. But a woman, she actually loves during the man being there for her, with her. So this man, after a while, he legitimately starts regretting everything that he did. Well, the girl already moved on. And honestly, a lot of men do not even get over it. They just end up accepting that they messed up. And they take a girl that accepts them.
Man, that's just mean. That's mean, man.
Well, this is all kinds of disturbing. You're saying that the best thing a man can do is fumble a so-called good girl so that way you can revel in his imaginary suffering? You're almost celebrating the idea that this guy's going to be miserable for 3 to 6 weeks down the road while you're out there celebrating yourself. That's not something a good person does. You're also trying to say that you're a good person and this guy was dumb for letting you go, even though most self-respecting men know a good woman when they see one. Unless that woman is a closeted psychopath, which you potentially are. You're trying to preemptively justify this behavior by saying that the majority of men out there are just trying to hurt women, which is kind of weird when you consider that the proud members of the illustrious bottom 95% club are interested in kind, peaceful, and good women, which, thanks to the garbage that you spew out on TikTok, are becoming fewer and far between. And then you have the nerve to blame us and try to revel in the catastrophe of your own making. Yeah, let us know how that works out for you, Toots.
There's the door, why don't you check it out?
I was talking to a surprisingly self-aware man the other day, and he was saying that he's realized that all he has to do is show the tiniest amount of decency to a woman, and they'll fall in love with him. All he has to do is be a little bit respectful, and they're head over heels. And that's so real, and that's so real. And that made me just like rethink everything. All those times I'd go up to my friends and be like, oh, he was so nice. We had an interesting conversation. He wasn't a stupid fucking idiot. He texted me the next day. Guys, can we get a crib? I'm referring to myself when I say that, by the way. Because also, like, the men are aware that they don't have to do anything. And the women will be impressed because the standards are so low. Because 9 out of 10 guys will treat you like shit. So if one person treats you like okay, then they're impressive. It's not okay. It's not okay. And we need to do better. Keep the standards up, ladies.
Great plan.
Thank you.
He likes your plan, Chief.
Well, the fact that you're so surprised about this really just goes to show how ignorant you are, sister. Dudes like Chad have been doing this for literally centuries. They don't have to put in any effort because the women will always flock to him, and they're too busy trying to impress him, so he doesn't have to put in any effort. It's literally no secret, and because you're fawning over this guy, you're totally fine with him putting in 0 effort, and you expect the average dudes to pick up the pieces by planning everything, communicating everything, and knowing the intricacies of your menstrual cycle so he can be prepared for your unwarranted and very controllable mood swings. But we're not relationship janitors, sweetheart. It's not our job to pick up the mess you created after chasing the men that you never had a shot with. We don't have to step up our game when you make the rules virtually impossible. We're too busy playing Final Fantasy VII, the original, not that freaking Rebirth crap that's got me so pissed off that I had to make a Patreon video about it. So yeah, it's your mess, it's your problem. Do what men have been doing for centuries and freaking deal with it.
Do you please maybe help me?
No way! This is your dishwashing liquid! You soak in it!
How to be chased and not be the chaser. Stop chasing after him and see what happens. First of all, see your worth and do not devalue yourself. Remember that. Let go of the scarcity thinking, like the whole, if I don't chase him, he'll go running or he'll leave. No. You are a bad bitch. Stop wasting your freaking time and communicate your damn boundaries. The expectation is that you appreciate effort. So you don't have to beg, but you just appreciate it, okay? So let's see it. Let's let him do it. Then you watch and learn.
Not scientifically possible!
Well, that's your problem right there. You're incapable of learning, nor are you capable of being appreciative of anything. This whole notion of you appreciating effort is also kind of laughable, mainly because regardless of what this guy does for effort, you're always going to expect him to do just a little bit more. It's not enough that he plans the dates and pays the check and waits no less than 8 business weeks before bringing up bedroom fun. You must also open up the car door to alleviate your fear of door gremlins, text a good morning every morning and twice on Sundays, and I'm fairly certain a gift card to Sephora as a requirement, as that is part of your love language. You don't want a dude to put in effort. You just want him to do everything because the mere idea of thinking terrifies you so much that the reaction ranks up there with reaching the age of 35 with no kids and no marriage prospects. And at that point, the guy isn't chasing. He's just being a simp. And if he's being a simp, you can't respect him. So there's no point in trying with you, sister, because it's just a waste of time and money, not to mention dignity.
The art of a delayed response, like trust me, it works. You don't have to ghost them or make it a toxic game, but you can have a delayed response because you're busy and you're not just waiting on them. And just like that delayed response, in order to have someone want to chase you, they have to show or they have to know that you do not need them. You have a life outside of your text with them. It's hot and it's unattractive to not have that. Now everyone gets mad at me when I give a little bit of toxic advice, but toxicity works when you're trying to get someone or you want someone to be obsessed with you, crave you. So get toxic, do a subtle little pullback. Pull back on starting the combo, or don't even answer for a day, or like take longer to answer for a day or two. Take that intrigue, that crave. So go get your man, boo.
You know, I hate to break it to you, sister, but a delayed response is the exact same thing as being toxic. Now, I have about 8 functioning brain cells, which is 7.94 more brain cells than you have. So let's go ahead and think about this for a second. You are intentionally making this man wait for a response to a text message. You're not that busy, and you have no reason to delay communications, which means that you're doing it for manipulative reasons. And men don't want toxic women who are going to try to manipulate them, especially in your case when you're preaching the literal psychological mistreatment of men just so you can get a guy that you want. Even though the guys that you do want aren't exactly subject to that low-level dime store psychology. Once again, this crap only works on simps. And if that's your goal, well then congratulations. You're going to have a phone's worth of well-wishers, dinner buyers, and men that you're going to settle for and ultimately divorce. There's no need for any of this stuff, lady. All you have to do is be friendly to a guy that's within your league, and then you would have been alright. But you couldn't even do that correctly. And that's why you're hopelessly single and peddling relationship snake oil on TikTok, and you can't even do that right either.
That's funny because it's so true.
Want to go on a date?
Say yes!
No.
That's what I thought.
Wish I could stay, but I got a thing. Bye.
Yeah, sorry sister, but threats of physical violence only work when we're talking about intergalactic civil war or when it comes to trading baseball cards. If you threaten to punch me, I'm still not going to date you. I got too much dignity, but either way, you should check out the bounty board over on Patreon, where for $5 a month gets you exclusive access to exclusive content you're not going to find on YouTube. Join up today and get your name thrown up here with all of these fine folks for every single episode that they help to support, and get yourself a good old-fashioned all hail.
Penn State. It's really cool. It was good. Really like into the conversation we were having. I'm the kind of person where like I have a lot of ambitions and drive for myself. Like I'm very self-motivated. He's like that too. I do look for that in a partner.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
I wasn't with him for that long. Really sweet guy. Definitely lied about his height though. I was on the date with him. I got a text from a guy that I went on a couple dates like months ago, but ended up not seeing him anywhere because honestly, like, quite frankly, he's just really annoying, hard to be around, being mean. So he texted me, he was like, I want to get drinks tonight, just like chat. I was like, okay, like I can probably at like 10 because I had another date. My second date to Omakase.
Cool.
Oh wow, well you clearly failed at life. I mean, you're so starved for attention and insecure with yourself that when some random douchemonger that you porked a few months back says that he wants to get drinks, even though you don't like him, you still agree to meet up with him after your second date for the day. So this guy must either be really good looking, have a nice apartment, or is a mid-level drug dealer. Either that or he's extremely good in bed, which wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. I mean, you said it yourself, you don't even like him, but you still begrudgingly agreed to meet him for booze after your last date for the evening, which means that whomever you're dating is not a dude that you want to take seriously, even though he's taking you to what I'm assuming is an expensive restaurant. And the fact that you feel the need to advertise all 3 dates you had in one day is literally telling the planet that you have nothing to offer a man, and you're just using them for free food and bedroom fun time. But that's not surprising either. I mean, the less you have to offer, the more you're willing to take from others.
Makazi, I met on Hinge. It's his birthday today, actually. He's 29. Works for Google. He's a senior engineer. I like cybersecurity. I'm not like a tech girl. I don't really know like what that means aside of what it sounds like. My date with him last night was the best date I've ever been on in my entire life. I've been like giddy about it all day. Literally talk about it like, guys, it was so good. Like immediately from the start, I felt like I have known him for years. There was no awkwardness. About 20 minutes into the date, I started hating myself, making plans to have another date right after. I wanted the night to last forever. I literally cannot even describe to you guys how good it was. Love omakase. Tried an oyster. I tried pretty much everything under the sun. Loved most of them. It was so good for a first date because it was like a new thing. Obviously he had gone to restaurants like that in the past. Either way, it's like new things. Single time we would like have it, cheers, try it, and we would like watch each other's like facial expressions to see if like we liked it. He seemed to have a similar palate. I learned a lot about him and I don't want to like get too excited about it online. We all know dating history. I really am hoping for the best.
Nobody cares, Sean. Nobody cares.
All right, let me see if I can get this straight here. You say that this was the greatest date that you've ever been on, and the only thing that you can describe as how much food he bought you? Well, that and this guy who makes bank in cybersecurity. You mentioned nothing about what you have in common, nothing about your goals or values, and you even disregarded what he did for a living and didn't even bother to make an effort to get to know him. Just the overpriced slop that he was forced to watch you shove down your gullet. And that's all modern dating has become. It's a list of activities that modern women use to try and not be bored. It's merely a selfish reflection of themselves. They don't care about the men that they go out with, just so long as they're good looking and fronting the bill for everything. And that has nothing to do with romantic bonding and everything to do with how hungry she is and how big of a credit limit the dude has. And I feel sorry for the Google cybersecurity guy. He had to waste his time and money on a woman who was planning on porking some random dude after 10 o'clock that very same night.
Excited. Literally just did not want the night to end. Went to my other date, literally like hating my life. As soon as I left him, like, why do I miss you? Like, I actually texted him that. I was like, why do I miss you? To go from hanging out with a guy that you get along with so well, I literally can't even describe it to you guys. I have never like had like a bond like that with a guy. Like, I don't know. It's very surreal. But when you go from that to hanging out with someone, bachelor number 3, just really makes you miss the bachelor number 2. I'm really excited for our 3rd date. I think we're gonna do dinner and then the comedy club. It's just great. I can't even like keep track of the conversation that I'm having with you guys. It's been like giddy all day. The first guy I went on a date with was really good. And I left the date, you know, I did kind of like confirm with him like, oh, like I'll definitely see you again. Because it was a good date. But it's like when you have a good date and then immediately after have a date that's like beyond words can describe, makes the first date seem like nothing.
Do not go in there. Woo!
Well, don't you worry about that, sister. I'm most certainly keeping track, and here's what. You don't care about date number 2. He's just a distraction for you. How do I know this? Because you still agreed to go out and see the guy you didn't even like. If this guy was so great, you could have told date number 3 to go kick rocks as you enjoyed yourself for a little bit longer that evening. But that's not what happened. You went to the bar with the 3rd guy because you wanted him in a primal way, whereas date number 2 you were just going to use until you got bored. You're a serial dater, sweetheart. You use men to alleviate your boredom, and then you yak about it on TikTok as if the world has nothing better to do than listen to you blather on and on about your inevitable future breakups. Because at the end of the day, you'd rather have a TikTok audience than you would any semblance of privacy. And that means the guys will always take a backseat to your stupid TikTok channel. But don't worry, after that guy comes to his senses and rightfully dumps you, that 3rd guy will be right there to smash you into some smaller pieces.
Ew, what a mess. Ew, ew, ew.
Lady, you're scaring us.
You know what I find interesting? The fact that there was a point in human history where people did not feel the need to involve the entire planet in their angry outbursts. There was actually a time when it was considered a much more mature thing to do to deal with that stuff privately. Now, nobody's saying you're not allowed to get angry there, sister. It happens. It's a human emotion. But what you are doing is not only making an ass out of yourself on TikTok, you're also embarrassing the living hell out of your children, all because you're mad at them. And those kids are going to be going through all kinds of hell when they go to school, because it's kind of a sad story. They have more control over their temper tantrums than you do, sweetheart, and that is extremely pathetic. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.